Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're having a really good day so far. Today I'm doing another episode. This is Instagram Q&A number 11. I can't believe that it is already the 11th episode or 11th video for the Q&A series. I've been really enjoying making these. I know I said not long ago that this is not going to be an Instagram Q&A channel, which it's not, but if I'm being really honest with you guys, it's been kind of hard to try to figure out like what content to post with limited things that I can do right now with COVID and everything. So I feel like this is the best that I can do, and honestly, like, you guys seem to enjoy these videos, and if you don't, that's totally fine. And it's not like there's much fashion at the moment. Like, we're not really going out much, at least speaking for myself, like, right? And if you have any ideas for future videos, please let me know in the comments. I would love to listen to your feedback, what you want me to film for you. So let's just get right to it. Once again, I got a lot of questions you guys came through. Oh, and before I get to the video, if you guys haven't checked out the Woo podcast, the podcast that I host with my brother, check it out. It's in the down bar. It's doing really well so far. We have amazing episodes. We're already on episode 21. So if you guys want to check it out, and that's my dog snoring once again in the background. No questions. I just missed you. Well, I missed you too. I miss you guys. I miss this. Danny E asked, describe your ideal home. Location, home style, pool, fire, all of that. Okay, this is interesting because I've talked about this a lot this past week, just with a friend of mine, just kind of discussing like, what's your dream home gonna look like? So my dream home, I can't wait to share with you guys, you know, to vlog my home when that happens. So my dream goal, it's interesting. I just want three things, like 3 or 4. Like, okay, number 1, my home is gonna have a kitchen island, a little island in the kitchen on the laptop while I'm cooking. I'm gonna also have big windows that brings in a lot of natural light. That is a must for me. I love bright light, bright natural light. The windows don't have to be huge, but just as long as I get a lot of natural light. And thirdly, I want a nice sized backyard. It doesn't have to be the biggest backyard ever, just a good sized yard for gatherings, get-togethers, and a cherry on top would be a pool. That is like most ticklish spot on your body. Honestly, I found out, I'm not gonna go there. Let's just say I found out that the bottom of my feet, like the soles, are very ticklish, and we'll leave it at that. Favorite tattoo. Honestly, I like all of my tattoos, and they kind of change throughout time, like which one's my favorite, but I don't know if I have to pick a favorite. It'd have to be honestly like my finger tattoos. I really like these finger tattoos, and I also really like my rose tattoo, which is this. And believe it or not, this was basically freehand. We had an idea of like what I wanted, but he kind of just had the idea, and I can't believe I trusted him, but the red part of the tattoo, like we came up with that on the spot. He's like, we should add a little bit of red, and it worked out because it's one of my favorites, this rose tattoo with like the dot work. Do you think people should talk about their exes in a relationship? I think so. I don't understand the concept of not talking about your past or talking about your relationships, your past relationships in a new relationship. I don't understand that. I feel like if you're an adult, and at least for me, like, I love communication. I'm not saying that like you should constantly be talking about your ex in a relationship. That's like a red flag. That's weird, right? But like if you're dating someone and the conversation pops up of exes, I don't think it should be like a taboo subject. I feel like for example, personally speaking, like I wouldn't want to know the nitty-gritty details of my partner's ex and the relationship. Like, I don't really care. But when it comes to little things, maybe like why and how it ended and how it was like after, that's kind of telling in my opinion. Notice how they talk about their ex. That says a lot about them, because if they talk mad shit about their ex and something doesn't work out with you, you know, they're gonna do the same thing to you most likely. So just be mindful of like how they treat it and how they talk about their ex. What does your diet consist of? My diet consists of coffee, and basically like today I had my ground turkey with white rice, broccoli, and avocado, and later I'll have chicken with more rice, and what else will I have? Brussels sprouts. You know, like, it's kind of boring, but I season it really nicely, if I do say so. Like, I season my food really nicely. I don't have dairy. So when I have baked goods like donuts, I always go for vegan donuts or like vegan cake. The only time though I do have dairy is if I'm out somewhere and like there's pizza. I'm not gonna deprive myself from that. Like, I'll deal with the stomachache after. It's worth it. If you were to date someone younger than you, how young could they be? For me, I was just talking to my brother about this yesterday. 25 would be the cutoff, and that would be just like maybe 25, but I say ideally 26 and above. Yeah, I want someone that is at the same stage that I am in my life, basically. What skill or talent do you have that most people don't know about? I think I'm a pretty good natural dancer. I actually have been posting dancing videos on TikTok, and those are just for fun. Like, I'm not really even, like, it's just impromptu, like really just fun, like dances. And photography, I am a good photographer. I have a really good eye. I actually tweeted this yesterday. I found my old photography from like 2009 on my old Tumblr account, and I was low-key kind of killing it, like without even really, like I was just having fun and having shoots with like cousins and friends. Meow, meow. What are your tips on reducing anxiety besides the gym, of course? My tips for reducing anxiety is to like breathing exercises, really focusing on your breath. It's really difficult for me to talk about this because I don't really, like, I don't have anxiety, if that makes sense, but I know there's coping mechanisms that I do and that I recommend for anxiety, and I hate to like plug this, but I'm gonna plug it. But we have a full episode on coping mechanisms and dealing with stress on our podcast. So if you guys want to check that out, like it's a 30-minute episode all about this exact topic. So I feel like that's a better, you know, I can point you to that direction. So like for me, breathing exercises, meditation is super important for me. Journaling, music, getting outside, getting some air, changing my environment, you know? So yeah. When was the last time you went out on a date? The last time I went out on a date was in the first week of October, and it was great actually. We still talk, but not like that. Not like that, you know what I mean? What are you mixed with? You look very exotic. Thank you so much. So I do have a little bit of Asian in me. I have, of course, I'm Latino, I'm Mexican American. Does being gay get easier after high school? Absolutely, at least for me. Life in general gets, I don't want to say easier, but better after high school. Like, I always say this to my younger cousins as well. Like, if you're in high school, that, like, at least, like I said, at least for me, it feels like that's such a huge part of your life. And granted, it is a pretty significant part of your life, but it seems like everything seems so big at the time, right? Like when I was in high school, I felt like I was already an adult and like I had to be an adult. And I was overwhelmed with like, holy shit, like my future, what the heck? But I look back and I'm like, wow, it really rings true when people say life begins after high school. Or I even heard people say life begins in your late 20s, you know what I mean? This is a kind of sounds really dark, but like I've talked about this before. I talked about this on the podcast, like I didn't think that I would make it past like 20. Nipple piercings, pro or against? For me, no, I would never get a nipple piercing, but I'm all about like, do you? No. I don't think I would, no. That would hurt. Thoughts on sleeping with an ex, healthy or unhealthy? Oof, that is a big question. And I don't know. Speaking for myself, once again, I always say that because I'm not going to speak for everybody. I think it's unhealthy to sleep with a recent ex. That's just me. Like, I feel the only way, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. Like, what do you have to say about friends with benefits with like an ex? As much as I like would want to, well, I'm not gonna get into that, but I feel like if you still have feelings for your ex, don't sleep with them. Don't. Like, no. I feel like the only way you can get by with a friends with benefits situation with an ex is if it's been so long that you know for a fact that like you don't love them like that anymore. If there's some feelings involved, you have to be really honest with yourself and say, is it worth it? Like, is it worth sleeping with an ex? Do I need this? Am I 100% over them? Like, have a look in the mirror and be super honest with yourself. I don't think it's a good idea to hook up with an ex if it's recent and if you still have feelings for them. What would you say was your biggest learning lessons this year? Number one, that life is way too short. Life can be taken away in an instant. It just has made me more present than ever. Number two, I've learned that human connection is really important, and community is so important. Number three, I learned to be more grateful than ever. Like, I've always practiced gratitude, but I feel like this year alone, it's like the little things matter. The little things are so important, and I'm so grateful for all the little things. I've also learned that we don't need much. right? As humans. This year, I've truly learned how to honor myself, how to value myself. And lastly, I've learned how important self-care is, how important rest is. You know, I was always someone that was like non-stop and like just work focused, and being forced to kind of slow down has made me realize just how important that is. Rest is not a prize, rest is a necessity. So it's really important to take care of your I was gonna say your self-care, but yeah, your self-care, your mental health, and just that self-care is important. Any advice on how to stay focused on a goal and not getting distracted? Great question. I'll talk about this a little bit, but that was actually this week's episode from our podcast about setting goals, especially going to the new year. We talked about setting goals. We have a brotherly debate about goal setting, if you guys want to check that out once again. But I'll tell you like the Cliff Notes version of that. Setting goals, how to stay on track. You have to, I always say dream big. Dream big, be realistic, of course. Like, you can't say I'm gonna go to the moon in like a month, right? Like, have realistic but big goals. And the first thing is to believe in yourself, believe that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. If you have that drive, that willpower, and that belief in yourself, you will make it happen. I believe you. Build a strategy and a formula of how you're gonna get to that goal. So you wanna build a strategy, a plan, how you'll get there, and you wanna, of course, get to work, start doing it. And just don't overwhelm yourself, be patient, know that it's gonna take time, but you will get there if you keep your eye on the prize. And you wanna live a value-based life. And what I mean by that is, yes, focus on your goals, have a plan, have a goal, believe in yourself. I believe in you, that you can achieve anything if you want it bad enough. But you don't wanna base your identity and your self-worth on your goals. What you want to do is you want to focus more on values, values as a person. For instance, say, for example, you want to be a kinder human. You want to be a more dedicated person. You want to be more hardworking. If you really focus more on your values as a person, then you will be more likely to build and make those goals happen. Like, whatever that goal is, why? What's your why? Is it because you want to help people? Is it because you want to provide for your family? Figure out your why, and there's no wrong or right answer. It's personal for everybody. So once you focus and you have your why, then you're more likely to succeed, and that'll be your motivation and your drive, right? Thank you so much for watching. This is the last video of 2020. Peace out. I will see you next year in a few days. Next video. I hope you guys have a safe and amazing new year. Please be safe. Yeah, just wishing you and sending you positive vibes. Thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate you so much. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.